We're dealing with stress right now, y'all. Okay, let's dig into it. So when it's talking about stress, what I'm gonna do is some of this stuff gonna be really psychological. All right, so just bear with me. You know me, I always try to give y'all a great breakdown and understanding of it. Okay, but we're gonna talk. Let's get to the facts first. Then I'm gonna teach you how to fight. All right. So facts first. Facts are we all experience. Doesn't matter who you are, man, woman, child. Like children experience stress too. We be like, "What are you stressed about, kid?" Like kids experience stress too. So don't discredit a kid if they say they're stressed out. So we all experience some degree of stress in our lives. It could be relational stress, like between a husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, co-workers, or lack of a close personal relationship. So that's a relational stress. It can be mental stress, like I can't figure out how to solve this issue, but I know I don't want this in my life. It can be emotional stress. Emotions deal with more so of your feelings towards someone or something or about something. It can be physical stress, which is like injuries on your body. It can be eating. It can be a hard working job. It can be exercising. It can be environmental stress, which is like in your surrounding environment, like at your job, stress at school, stress in your home life. Or it can be existential health, like the purpose of your existence, or my life doesn't have any meaning, type, or do I believe in God or not? Those are, and the crazy thing about those six different um, uh, um, um, uh, stresses is that they make up the six different compartments to health. So this is relational health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, environmental health, and existential health. So when it comes to stress, stress can affect every area of our life. So what is the definition of stress? So I love to go with a working definition. It's it's mental or emotional strain and tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. So stress is, let me put this on. Oh man, I forgot to mute it all. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on mute real quick. All right, cool. So, stress is mental or emotional strain and tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. So, remember that definition, but I'm going to come back to it as well, okay? So, stress is meant to be, look, this is so important about stress. So, I gave you how it affects every area of your health. I gave you the definition of it. So, this next statement that I'm about to make is going to be kind of long, but it's going to be key. So, stress is meant to be dealt with and not ignored. So don't say, "Oh, I'm stressful. I'm gonna just keep chucking away or I'm gonna ignore it." No, stress is meant to be dealt with and not ignored. So I put, "Be not deceived." You must acknowledge it for what it is and be ready to deal with it in order to be made free from it. So if you don't acknowledge it and deal with it, you will not be made free from stress. If we simply ignore stress in our life, because let's say, like most of us, we are too busy to deal with it, the inevitable next stage will be distress, depression, or a breakdown. So if you don't deal with the stress in your life, the next inevitable stage will be distress, depression, or breakdown. So when you start to get into the distress, depression, or breakdown stage, these are feelings of hopelessness. Like, man, you know, just can't do nothing about it. So that is an exhaustion of your resources, meaning I don't have what I need to fix this issue. So to me, it's hopeless. So you'll do one or two things. You'll go into that breakdown mode, or you'll start developing unhealthy habits as defense mechanisms. And I'm gonna break that down a little bit. But so this depression, distress, and these breakdown moments are feelings of hopelessness, loss of interest or pleasure, and at least four other symptoms that reflect change in functioning, such as problem with sleep, eating, energy, concentration, and self-image. Also, extreme anxiety, sorrow, or pain. It's anguish, suffering, and sorrow to the extreme. So if we don't deal with stress, then we're going to deal with anguish, suffering, and sorrow to the extreme, which manifests itself in depression, in distress, in mental. You ever heard somebody say, man, I had a mental breakdown? They had a mental breakdown, meaning they could not solve the conflict or the adverse situation or the demanding circumstances. They didn't have enough resources to meet it. So then they went into distress or depression or breakdown mode. That is what they're saying. They're saying, look, I couldn't figure it out. So that would be like, I gave the example was like, man, my lights got, look, I got a son, I got a wife, but my lights got turned off. I have they turned the water off, my electricity, I didn't pay my bills, I'm about to get fired. All these things come upon me, and I'm looking like, what the heck do I do? So when I look at like that, I see that I don't have the resources necessary to solve this issue. Then I go into this distress. I go into this depression. So when you go into depression and distress and stuff like that, you're saying, look, I just can't handle what has come upon me right now. That's why a lot of people, when they lose a lost one, they say, I was not prepared for this. So then they go into these stages of depression, distress, and mental breakdowns because they don't have what they need to be able to handle the situation. So then they get the feelings of hopelessness. All right. So this happens. So this depression and stuff and these horrible symptoms happen because often you and I let it get to that point. Sometimes I understand a tragic thing, boom, just smacks us, and we like don't know how to deal with it, so we break down. But a lot of times we let ourselves get to this point, um, and we let the situation get away from us because we don't deal with the stress. So that's what I'm saying. You got to deal with the stress in your life. Don't let stress go a day, a moment, a minute, a week, a second without dealing with it. Because if you do not deal with it, eventually, it may not be a day or two or a week or two, but eventually it's going to lead to a breakdown. All right. So then guess what happens? Look, man, this is crazy. This is how our brain functions, man, because I love psychology. My mom a psychology major. I was a psychology major. I just love it. I love to study the mind of people. That's why I'm always trying to help people out, man. That's just what my name means. So that's what I'm doing. So it says, this is where when we get to this distress, we don't handle stress. This is where our survival technique kicks on in our brain, and bad habits are birthed due to, because what our brain is trying to do is it's trying to get you out of distress, or it's trying to deal with the stress that you yourself are not trying to deal with. So your brain kicks on and say, do this, do that, and we obey it because that is a defense mechanism to get us out of this stressful, distressed, depressed, breakdown state. So we develop habits like smoking, drinking, drugs, sleeping around, or just sleeping in your bed all day, lashing out in fits of anger and fighting, overeating, binging, bulimia, food cravings, and food addictions, and etc. So our brain, because the stress is undealt with by us in our mental, in our rational thinking side of us. So then the irrational, pleasure seeking, survival side of us, which is our brain, kicks on and say, you better do something about this or I'm shutting down. So what we do, we smoke, we drink, we do all these other bad. We oh man, I'm stressed because of work, or I'm stressed because of husband and wife, I'm stressed because of this and that. Well, let me just eat a bunch of chocolate. Those are just defense mechanisms. So I don't like beat a person down for, I just had to eat the chocolate. I just had to eat this food. I just had to drink this pop. I just had to. I just had to. I just had to. I just had to cry. I just had. The reason why you had to do that is because something clicked in your brain and said, you better do something about this now or I'm shutting down. And if you shut down, and sometimes it takes a little while to get up out of that. So your brain say, nah, I'm not about to shut down. So we're about to start smoking cigarettes. We're about to start binging on food. We're about to start being addicted to chocolate and sweets. We're about to start cussing everybody. We're about to start fighting people. We're about to start, doing drugs and drink. We're about to start doing stuff because I'm not about to shut down. So that's deep. So that's why we got to make sure, man, if we're stressed out, we deal with it. Acknowledge it, don't ignore it, call it what it is, and literally deal with it. Okay. So here are some true facts, some research that I looked up. It says an estimated 17.3 million adults in the US had at least one major depressive episode. So what's a depressive episode? A depressive episode is a period of 2 weeks or longer. So think about being in that state. If you ever struggle with depression, you're in that state of hopelessness, anxiety, sorrow, suffering, lacking energy, pleasure for at least 2 weeks. I got a kid, I got a wife, I got a job. Like, I can't afford to be depressed for 2 weeks and really think I'm gonna be effective at being a good husband, serving a God, a father, anything. Like, I can't think my health is going to be good if I'm depressed. So deal with stress. It says 17.3 million adults. Think about this. It says almost 1 in 15 American adults suffer from depression, like right now. So let's say if it's let's say if it's 15 people that work with you, at least one of y'all, probably more than one, at least one of y'all are depressed right now as you speak. That's crazy. So 1 out of every 15 adults suffer from depression. And lastly, now and this is why we got to deal with it. This is probably the most important one, what we really, really, really got to deal with. If that other stuff wasn't sobering enough to make you wake up and really handle the stress so it won't lead to depression, distress, or breakdown, this one will. It should. It says, and I didn't know this was a thing. It's called the suicidology, meaning like they study suicides. So according to the American Academy of Suicidology, it says about 2/3, so that's 66% of people who commit suicide are depressed at the time of their death. And the risk of suicide is about 20 times greater among people with major depression. So that's why we can't let stress get to depression. And I said, be not deceived. If you don't deal with the stress, it will get to that point. Okay. So enough about the facts, but I'm hoping that just woke you up for a quick second to say, okay, I can't just keep letting stress just hang on me all day long. I got to deal with it because I'm about to teach you how to fight it now. So we talked about the facts. Now let's fight back. So this is a great biblical principle I picked up, but this can also apply to your everyday life. The scriptures tell me we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and power, against spiritual wickedness in high places. All that's saying is this: you don't wrestle, you don't fight against people. So don't be, oh, well, my husband, my wife stressing me out. Oh, my coworker or my boss stressing me out. This fight, when you're stressed, we take it out in multiple different ways. If I'm stressed and I go to deal with Daniel, I can take it out Daniel in an angry way. I can be short with him. I can be like, man, what are you doing all this time? You know what I'm saying? But it ain't his fault. It ain't his fault at all. It's stress. So the fight is against stress, not against people. So don't lash out on people. Don't try to harm nobody or do nothing like that. The fight is against stress, not people. Why? Because the definition is it's a mental or it's mental or emotional strain and tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. So it's the circumstance, and it's what specifically about the circumstance. So I can't just say, well, my wife stressed me out. I got to say what specifically about her stresses me out. So then I can start to pinpoint that, and then I can start to deal with it. I can't just say, because that's too broad to say my job's stressing me out. That can be a million different things. So number one, how do you fight? Awareness. Awareness, if y'all remember back to level one, was the first principle of change was awareness. If I don't become aware of something, then I can't never fix the issue. And it has to be me that becomes aware of it. You can become aware of it all day long in my life, but until I become aware of it and take ownership of it, I can tell somebody, look, you need to exercise, you're unhealthy. They may say to me, like, no, I'm good. So, but if I'm telling you as a nutrition coach, yeah, man, look, I can see it in your neck. I can see it like you're just not, no, it's bad. Until they come to the point of they want to change and they become aware that a change is needed, they will not change. So number one is awareness. So awareness means this: you must honestly and specifically identify what you're trying to accomplish. So you must honestly and specifically identify what you're trying to accomplish and what the adverse or very demanding circumstances are that are causing the tension and strain. So you must honestly and specifically identify what you're trying to accomplish and what the adverse or very demanding circumstances are that are causing the tension and strain. So, in that definition of becoming aware, number one, you have to become aware of what you're trying to accomplish. Because remember, stress comes about because of adverse or adversity. What does that mean? So, an adverse situation or a demanding circumstance just means it's something right here in my life that is trying to prevent me from having success. It is something that is challenging me, something that is requiring much skill or effort so I can get past this thing. It's testing my abilities. And so something that tests you automatically brings stress upon you. So if I'm being like, if it's a boss that I, man, or if it's clients that I deal with, like let's say me, I deal with multiple clients every single day. So I can have a client like in the future, I mean, not in the future, in the past, I've had a client that really test me, that really challenge me. And man, I just wanted to come and work a person out. So my goal was just come work a person out, get in, get out, have a good day. But this person don't want to work hard. They want to complain all day long, stuff like that. So that's a challenging situation. So that's preventing me from having success. What would be success to in my eyes in a situation would just be a smooth training session. No if and or but. You do what I tell you to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't like you showed up. So you showed up to tell me what to do. Like that ain't gonna work. So then that starts to bring me stress, meaning that starts to challenge me right then and right there. So now I can either deal with that right then and there, or I can let it fester and let it fester until I get mad and upset at the person and say some stuff I shouldn't say, or be short with them and not handle myself in a professional manner. And there's many ways I can deal with that, man. I can deal with that, first of all, by changing my mind. I can be more patient. I can work on some stuff that this person may like to do. So it's a lot of things that I can do, which is going to lead to our second point is after we become aware of what we're trying to accomplish and what the adverse or demanding circumstance is in the midst of my situation, number two is going to be change. So now I have to realize that things have to be done different. So I become aware. So once I become aware, it's not good enough to just become aware of stress. You got to actually change. You got to do something about it. So change, what I mean by that is things have to be done differently now. I can't continue to do the same things expecting different results. That's insanity. Okay. So don't do the same thing. Like, I mean, well, I thought things were going to be different. Why do you think things were going to be different? You literally kept doing the same exact thing every day. Like it's not going to, like, oh my God, it just disappears one day. No, it don't work like that. So I put this, the stress will not automatically go anywhere until some type of change is accomplished. Like it has to be accomplished. The change can't be just, oh man, that is a good idea. You know what? I should eat better. You know what? I should. It can't just be like that. It has to, the change that you said, and that's going to be the last point about execution, but sticking on two, the change has to be accomplished. Now, this change can be mental. I may have to make a mental adjustment, a physical adjustment, emotional, relational, environmental, or existential. So look, I may have to make a relational adjustment. Look, I'm not telling nobody to divorce their husbands or wives or break up your relationship. Like, I'm not telling you that. But a practical example could be like, man, I'm trying to get healthy. Rob and them want me to, man, smoke, drink, hang out late night, do crazy stuff. So guess what? I may got to cut those ties with Rob and them. If I keep hanging out with Rob and them, I'm gonna be unhealthy like Rob and them. So that's what I mean. Some type of change has to happen, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, relational, environmental. Maybe if I keep eating fast food on the way home, what would an environmental change be? Go a different direction. Don't keep going past. If I got look, I should if I got to make it past, if I'm stressed out and I got to go past 15 different fast food restaurants on the way home, you best believe I'm stopping and getting something. This was the old me. Now, me, I wouldn't do it nowadays. But what I'm saying is a person, they got to go past 15 different restaurants. They stressed out after a day of work. They're going to stop past one of them late night drive-throughs. So find a different path to go. You may got to change up your environment. Um, and change starts with identifying what needs to be changed and a strategy for change. No success without identification and strategy. So, like I said, first you got to do when it comes to change. So, we're still on number two. When it comes to change, we have to identify what I have to change in my life. First of all, identify that. Then develop a strategy. Don't just say, well, I got to change hanging around Rob and them after I play basketball. I got to now put together a strategy. Maybe my wife calls me and be like, babe, I would rather have you home. So then I'm telling the fellas, hey, my wife called me, I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? That's my strategy to get out of that. Maybe I don't go play basketball as many days as I used to. I just go a few times so the temptations are less. Something has to change. Some strategy has to be implemented. Some barriers have to be put in place. You cannot continue to do the same thing expecting different results. So number two is to fight stresses. Some change has to happen. Number three is evaluation. So evaluation is just counting the cost. Can I do without this stressful thing in my life? So let's say if I be like, man, my husband, my wife, my spouse, my girlfriend, boyfriend, my kids. So these are my relationship, right? I can't say, all right, well, I'm about to get rid of one of my kids. I can't do that. I can't just I can't do that. That's not good to do. Like like Rachel can't just show home and there's no Daniel. I can't be like, oh well, don't know what happened to Daniel. I think he went outside somewhere. That just can't happen. So it's look, can I do without the stressful thing in my life? So let's say if Pop, I'm using a silly example, but let's say if Pop is causing me to gain weight, and Pop got a lot of sugar, I'm about to become a diabetic. So the question is, can I do without Pop? Yes, you can. Don't say you can't. Yes, you can. So what I do, I remove Pop out of my life. Then some of the stress of becoming a diabetic starts to go away. So if the answer is yes, then get rid of the adverse or demanding circumstance. However, if the answer is no, then some type of change is a must because living with stress is not good at all and it hinders every compartment of your health. So it's like, okay, I can't just get rid of my wife, Daniel, my job. If my job is stressing me out, I can't just get rid of my job. You know what I'm saying? How am I gonna pay the bills? I can't just get rid of my clients if they're stressing me out. How am I gonna pay the bills? My clients are the one who pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? So I can't just get rid of those. So I have to make some type of change. I have to make it might have to be a mental or an emotional change that I have to make. It could be an existential change. Maybe I get a newfound faith or something that can help me deal with the stress. So, but I have to evaluate, can I get rid of the stress? Or do I have to learn how to live with these stressful people, but learn how to deal with them differently or view them differently or see them differently that can get me through? If I'm in the business of helping people, I could be like, oh my God, they're so stupid, stressing me out, always got to deal with them. Or I can look at them like, man, that's messed up. If I was in this situation and I was stubborn, I would still want somebody to help me out. So I got to look at them, it's helpless. So my mind just got to change. When my mind changes, that's when I can truly help them. Number 4, and it's the last one, is execution. Execute. Look, in order for any fight to be won, you have to execute. I don't know if you ever seen boxing and UFC fighting and different things like that. It's like, it doesn't matter if you win the first 11 rounds. If it's a 12-round bout, you can still lose the fight. You can still get knocked out. So when it comes to execution, execution is carrying out consistently what you said you want to accomplish and following your plan of attack you set up through your strategy. So execution is actually carrying out now with consistency. That's going to be the kicker. You will remain stressed if you don't have consistency in your life. Let's say if weight, let's say if being unhealthy, let's say if strength, let's say if making poor nutritional decisions. If those things stress me out because it's leading to poor health, it's leading me not to feel and look how I want to feel, because my goal to accomplish is being healthy, being fit, being strong. If those things are my goal, and if I don't carry out consistently good nutritional habits, exercising, if I don't carry these things out consistently, making the better nutritional decision, if I don't carry out these things consistently, then what won't happen is stress won't leave my life. If I don't become a better time manager, stress won't leave my life. So it's like we have to carry out whatever we strategize, whatever we came up with, we got to carry that out. And we do it consistently and we execute, then stress will go little by little. Quick little example today was, before I got on my bed, I said, look, man, I'm about to get out this bed. I was literally talking to myself. I was like, look, I'm about to get out this bed. And I already feel overwhelmed. I already feel overwhelmed before I get out this bed. I said, hold on, let me lay here for a second. Let me think about this. I got to think about this for a minute, because I am not trying to deal with my day overwhelmed. I say, okay, so what do I got to do today? So then when I finally started looking, I said, okay, I can put this person on to this day. Okay, I can do this. Okay, this need my attention, but I don't really got to do that. So when I took the time to put like I taught us on that time management, when I took a time to put my task first and my activities second, or some of those tasks I didn't necessarily have to do today, I can bump that over to Wednesday at 1:30 instead of dealing with that Tuesday at 2. My goodness, today was the ideal day for me. So I realized that my real issue was time management. My time management wasn't the best. I was overbooking. That's one of the things you should not do. I was overcommitting. That's one of the things you should not do. I wasn't making me time. That's one of the things you should not do. So it was my time management skills that was having me feeling overwhelmed. So once I did things like got up, clean up a little bit, read my Bible, got in my prayer, cut down my big prayer list from praying for 50 people to praying for 10. Once I started making these adjustments, changing some things, the stress went like that. And that's literally how it happens, man. Become aware, change some things, evaluate, can I get rid of this thing, or is this thing a must and it must stay in my life? So then I have to change something about me then, if this thing has to change in my life, and then execute whatever I put together, whatever strategy I put together. So let's say, man, my health is stressing me out. All right, well, you became aware of that. Now let's change. Okay, I need to change up my physical. My physical is what I eat and how I exercise. Let me start changing that. All right, now let me evaluate what are some things that are making me unhealthy that I can do with that. Okay, I can't do without the pop. I can do without the 12 o'clock chocolate sundaes that I eat every day. I can do without those things. All right, cool. Now I set up some boundaries, some thing I'm following. Okay, maybe I can't make it to the gym every day, but the strategy is at least go to the gym twice a week. And then if I stay consistent with my nutrition stuff, I should see some results. So that's my strategy. Now I just got to execute. So all I got to do is execute what I strategize and put out. So what we're going to do, I'm about to open the floor up, and I want us to, if we got anything, let's talk about it. And maybe, because it helped out with the first group, you can let me know a stressful situation in your life if you have it, or ways you deal with stress to help out. And then we can put it to the the 4 steps to fighting stress test and see, can we deal with that? So I'm open the floor up. If anybody got any way that they deal with stress, anybody got things that just stress them out and why they think, we can deal with that. So I'll open it up, and anybody got something, they can get to talking. We're talking about stress here and trying to fight it. So does anybody got anything that stresses them out, but they've been dealing with it good lately? Do you have any tips for us? Anything like that? Do you have anything that like, oh man, I'm stressed about this? All right, Rebecca.
Okay, well, I tend to overbook myself because, yes, I have to learn boundaries of saying no more than yes.
Yep.
Yes, I try to get too much done in one day because sometimes I have a mindset that if I don't, I'm hard on myself, that I'm lazy, I'm not being productive. So when I do feel overwhelmed, my anxiety kicks in and everything. And I used to be able to go running all the time. And now that I'm limited with that, I just find being at the gym does help me a lot. I've never really been like an over emotional eating person. I used to be a smoker years and years and years ago. So I would smoke all the time. But now I've turned that habit into working out. So um, what else? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like other people know me better than I know myself.
Good. So that's great. So we've already became aware of the issue with you, and what I discern from all that is time management skills. So it's like I don't got to be mad or frustrated or upset or something. It's like the issue that you have is time management skills. So it's like you said, I have trouble saying no. I try to get too much done in one day. I feel overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't set boundaries. I overbook. If you go back to that time management teaching, it's great because you'll see that, wow, this is why stress is in my life, because I'm a poor manager of my time. So that's the issue. The issue is not that there was traffic today on the way to the gym and that there was construction and nobody didn't tell me. Like, that ain't the
There
issue.
was.
That ain't the
And,
issue.
and
That
last Saturday, I got hit by a dog. Ran into my car. But
look,
I know what you're saying, that if I didn't leave at the last minute,
there you go.
then I would not be running into these issues, that I would have plenty of leeway to get there on time instead of rushing all the time.
Now, the cool thing about it is you can look at it and be like, all right, cool. So why do I? So if my struggle is time management, okay, so I overbook, and you say sometime, and okay, so this was okay. So what else you struggle with, what I caught was disempowering beliefs. Remember I said that was the second enemy. Was that the first one? That was the first or second enemy to change. I think it was the second enemy to change, disempowering belief. Your belief is, if I don't overbook myself and do all this stuff today, I'm lazy and I'm not productive. When that's a lie. That is a lie. And we know that the thief come to steal, kill, and destroy. So that's a lie right there. That if I don't overbook, no, if I overbook myself, the truth is I become overwhelmed. I become full of anxiety. I become hard on myself. So this is what overbooking gets me. Overbooking gets me with disempowering belief. Overbooking makes me a poor time manager. Overbooking makes me failure to eat food at time, makes me late for some things. So now I can be like, all right, that's the issue. So let me start making a schedule, and let me like literally like do it. If you need a paper from me, I have those paper. I can give you those papers so that you can, and because I'm about to start doing it for myself, so I can be a better time manager, because that's a skill that I've just noticed that is a must in our life, time management.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you have, so look, now think about this. If you had good time management skill, You wouldn't feel overwhelmed. You wouldn't be trying to get too much done. You wouldn't overbook. You would easily be able to say no. So guess what goes? Anxiety. Uh, guess what goes? Stress. All that stuff goes away with just simply getting time management skills. Now, taking you through our list, you became aware of what your goal is to accomplish, being not overwhelmed with your day. So that's what you become aware of, man. I'm overwhelmed, and overbooking and all this stuff is adverse circumstances that are stopping me. So what things need to change? So you're saying, man, I need to become a better time manager. I need to not overbook myself. I need to learn how to say no. So you're already saying some changes you need to do. Then I got to evaluate what things in my day can I literally be like, man, I can put that off till tomorrow. I really don't have to. Like, I don't gotta go get my nails done today and get me a new pair of tennis shoes.
I, oh, snap.
I don't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta come in the gym. Look at me. I'm fly. You know, I don't gotta do all
First,
that. I don't.
first of all, for your information, those shoes were ordered online.
All right, but I don't look. I don't gotta come in there doing the most right now. Okay, so look, this is the thing.
Oh, Lordy Lord.
So then I just evaluate, like, okay, these are stressful things in my life. Can I do without some of these things? But if I can't do, like, okay, if let's say if my daughter is stressing me out, I can't do without my daughter. So then I have to learn how to, okay, maybe I'm learning different techniques of how to deal with her in the morning. Maybe I get that belt out and whoop her butt. It's like, no, I mean, maybe I like do some things that can switch up. Okay, maybe if Abigail and the other little boy making me late or whatever the case is, maybe I start 10 minutes early with everything. So if I was starting at 8 getting them ready, and I know I got to be there at 9, maybe I start at 7:45 getting them ready. That's going to give me a 15-minute cushion just in case I run into traffic, just in case I can't find my new good shoe, or just in case I, burn the chili in the house, just in case I do something like that, or whatever the case is. I'm able to now, I got a 15-minute buffet right there for my protection. So what can I move out of that, man? I got I got 17 things I got to do in the afternoon, but I only got 3 hours to do it. So let me see, what can I eliminate and what can I put off to the next day? All these things right there
Mm-hmm.
will start to eliminate the stress, and it all comes back to the time management. And that's a lot of our issues is time management. So you're not alone on that one. And then
Well,
consistently carry it out though. Like, don't say, "Oh, I'm gonna do it at 7:45 today," but then the next few days you do it at 8:15. Then you trying to rush in the door. So it's like, nah, I gotta train them to be consistent as well, and then everybody will be used to being consistent.
yes. Oh, that is true. We'll get this. I will get this. I'm telling you.
No,
Even at 42 years old, I will get this.
you will get it. You will get it. Putting your age out there too. I see you. Okay,
I'm sorry.
you ain't ashamed.
I'm
You
in
ain't ashamed.
32.
Anybody else 40 in the house? She ain't ashamed. But yeah, that's cool though. So awareness, change, evaluate the situation, and now we just got to consistently execute. Great job.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for saying that. Anybody else? Now look, it's only like 3 of us, okay? So Kim and Carol, don't think y'all gonna get away. Y'all gonna say something. Somebody gonna say something. Somebody got to be the bait. All right, let's go, Kim.
I was gonna say you do not want to talk about stress with the counselor.
Woo!
No, I'm kidding.
Stress. Wow.
You did a wonderful job, and I will be using
Thank
a lot of these points in my counseling sessions, because just let me tell you, this in this day and age there is a lot of stress out there, and it all falls back on me.
Yes, it does. And then that can stress you out. You know what I'm saying?
Every single day. That's why I go to the gym every
Mhm.
single day. Yep, that's why I have to be active all the time.
So that's perfect. So what you have done is on the front, I was talking about people, and you said that's why. So that's the reason why, because let's strip the gym away from you. Let's strip being healthy away from you. You would fall into distress, depression, and probably a breakdown. Or what's going to happen is to get you out of distress, and you might have had some or one of or a few of these habits in the past. What our brain does, smoking, drinking, drugs, sleeping around, lashing out, like these things, overeating, binging, bulimia, food cravings, and addiction, those things say, all right, it's my turn now. You don't want to deal with it. So guess what? I'm not going to break down. I'm going to handle this. And we're going to start smoking cigarettes. And we're going to start drinking alcohol. And we're going to start eating everything that's walking around and that's not walking and that's in the store. We're going to just eat it all. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. You say, look, I got my gym, I got my thing. Okay, I'm good. And that's what you got to do. Develop healthy habits like that.
Yeah, because I was jonesing for a cigar over the weekend.
There
No,
you go.
I'm kidding.
I'm telling you.
I was having flashbacks to my college days,
Liar, pants on fire.
but anyhow, yeah, and the stress. There is so many layers to stress too. And there's some things that you specifically and honestly cannot control, and I am I'm pretty much, what do you call it, other people's time really dictates my time at work. So I have had to learn to focus on what do I have control over in this situation, because if I have 3 clients that have doctor's appointments and each doctor's running an hour late, that puts me 3 hours behind schedule. So, it's trying to maintain my patience, it's trying to teach them patience, and you have to wrap your head around that and just kind of focus. We call that locus of control. There's 3 circles of locus of control. So what do you have control over at this specific moment? And that's usually where I start. And I have my control. My locus of control is my choices. Do I go back to the conference room and find somebody's leftover cake and eat it, or do I get in my lunchbox and eat my fruit, or, just fill up the water jug and drink some more water? Or do I just count down the moments when I can get to the gym and work it off, or take a nice long walk and walk it off? And smoke a big cigar while I'm doing it.
Oh, little Corella DeVille over there.
I'm kidding. So in my life, it's other people's stress that usually falls down onto me. So I have to focus on where I have control and deal with it. And that whole mental and that whole existential, that way of thinking, that pretty much resonates with me right there. That existential acceptance of the way things are and how you look at things. I have a quote on my wall that says if you look, oh shoot, no, I can't remember what it says. It talks about looking at things differently, and when you look at things differently, they tend to change. So they're not stagnant. So it's all in sometimes your perception and the way you perceive things and perceive stress that you have to evaluate.
That's 100% right. That's 100% right. So it's like me, and man, when I look at, like, I can look at a situation one way and be like, man, situation sucks. Or I can look at it like me because of my faith. And that's why I said, like, everybody handles it different. I go a lot to my faith. So it's an awesome Bible scripture that says in Romans 8:28, it says, and we know that all things work for the good of them that love God. So now I might have lost my job, my wife left me, everything going bad. But because of my faith, I look at it like, nah, all this it happened for a reason. He's working out something for my good. But I can just focus on all the stuff, and then I go crazy and break down, or I can focus on his plan. And when you focus on his plan, you don't even see the stuff. You just grab hold of his promise and know that, man, it's going to work out for my good. So I view that completely different. So that leads me not to get into depression mode and stuff like that. That's why I said it can be any part of someone's health that needs to change. It can be mental, physical, emotional, relational, environmental, existential. If you change something like that, then that is going to be you stepping towards dealing with this stress, because there are
Right.
many negative ways we can deal with it.
Yeah.
That's
And that part of that existential, that mental component and that existential component
Mhm.
is that you have to perceive yourself differently too, or you have to perceive yourself in a different way a lot of times in order to make that change happen.
Yes. So like you as a counselor, you have to, or me as a nutrition coach, because nutrition coach by definition, I'm a guider of a change. That's all I am. I'm a guider. I can't, Kim, eat this, eat that. No, that ain't gonna work. I gotta guide you into a change. And let's say if you're stubborn for the first 2 months, I I have to view myself as, look, you're a guider of a change. So if you give up on her, if you throw in the towel, if you get angry, upset at her, that's not going to guide her into a change. So I have to view myself different in order for me to help you. You're a counselor. You have to view yourself different. You can't view yourself like Bob viewed, but Bob like, nah, that person ain't listening. Peace. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't, because these clients also pay our bills. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, like take away all of our clients, take away everybody come to the gym, take away all that stuff. We don't got a job. You know what I'm saying? So we need them. So it's learning how to control yourself in the midst of a situation or environment or circumstance that you can't control, but learning how to
Exactly.
change, like you said, view yourself different. Yeah, that's
Yep.
good stuff.
Yeah, and don't forget that relational piece too is that I think what I was trying to get at there is that you have to have a good relationship with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Like that. I like that. Thanks, Kim. Appreciate that. That's a great word, because a lot of people gonna hear this too. So that's why it's good for people to share. All right, I got time for one more, and then we're gonna go ahead and call it quits. Kim Parrish, you got something? Mama, Rachel, anybody got something? I'm about to call on one of y'all. Yeah, I'm about to call. You know I was gonna call on you, Kim. Get your butt on there and talk. Come on, Kim.
Okay, there I am.
Okay.
I don't really have anything more to add other than I know I have time management issues too sometimes, and I don't even have kids anymore in the house. I mean, it's just me, pretty much just managing my own time,
Right.
and trying to just between my work and just trying to manage everything. I sometimes I have a tendency, like, it gets to the point where I make to-do lists and everything, and then I just, like, after a while it's just like they get overwhelmed and I just put it aside and do nothing. And then that doesn't help. Sometimes it's just too much, but making lists help me a lot, though. They do. I do a to-do list, every week, but whether or not they all get done, is another story. But I don't know.
So
that's
so that's cool. So the advice I usually have for people that do like to-do lists, or they do like, basically, I'm assuming a to-do list would be a must get done list, right?
right.
So I would start, okay, let's say if my to-do list, let's say if it's 20 things long, right? I usually give people the advice, and I do it myself. I try to say, okay, what needs to get done on this day? Do I have to do all 20 things on Monday? Can I put something on Tuesday? So when you get down to it, I try to like schedule it almost like it's a meeting that I can't miss. So I might be like, look, I need to get 5 videos done on nutrition by next week because Brian need them, because we're putting together a website. I say, all right, I'm gonna do 1 video a day. Instead of I know me, I'll overwhelm myself and I'll be like, all right, I'm about to do all 5 videos today. knock them out real quick, and then I'm dead tired, stressed. I don't feel like playing with Daniel. I don't feel like hanging out with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it messes me up. So making those to-do lists can be good, but to go a step further and actually scheduling them, like, okay, I have to feed the cows. I don't know what your to-do list is. You know what I'm saying, Kim? Because you're very interesting. So I have no clue what your to-do list is. Okay. So whatever your to-do list is, it's gonna be like, let's say if it's working out, okay, I'm gonna go work out at this time. Cool. I already got that. Let's say if it's food prep, all right. What do I got Thursday at 7. I can food prep. All right, put that in there. All right, let's say read. I gotta get this reading done for work. All right, boom. So doing a to-do list with some time stuff on there like that may be a little bit more beneficial, because then you are specifically saying, okay, this is what I got to do. Already got it booked. But then the great thing about it is you'll see all the openings you have too. And then guess what? If you got a 3-hour open, look and do this. If you make a to-do list and actually do that, and you got a 3-hour window where it's open, but you're on track, I would not do other stuff. Like I literally don't put like, oh, I can fit in 5 things. No, take that time. You earned it. You earned it. You literally earned that time because you was on point. Your time, like that's a reward. So I look at my schedule, I be like, oh man, such and such canceled. That's cool. All right, I got this time, that time. I can hang out with Danny. I would be a fool person, and I've been a fool. So I'm speaking about myself. If I say, all right, well, I can get a video done. No, how about I just that cancel? I got the videos already lined up. How about I go spend time with Rachel and Daniel because I haven't seen them all day, instead of putting myself in more work and more work and more work. So when I do it like that, I'm able to be like, all right, I got 2 hours right here. If I need to fit something in, I can. But most time I'm like, no, I'm trying to spend time with my family and stuff that I don't normally or wouldn't get to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
It should make it more like a time thing by hourly or something, or especially on the weekends. I try and like jam in a whole bunch of stuff to do on the weekends because my weeknights are pretty full. I don't get a lot done with between working out and whatever. It's just the night goes by fast. So I try and do a whole bunch of stuff on the weekend, and then it's like then I don't have a whole lot of me time.
Now I got a question for you about that. How many days a week you work out at the gym? 4, 5?
At the gym, usually they're right now about 4 days. And I work out at home too on the nights I don't go to the gym. So
how many days would you say you total workout?
between 5 and 6.
Okay. Now, how long would you say a workout probably takes you?
Probably an hour, around an hour.
Okay. So you got about an hour. So if you look, this might be hard for you to do, but you got to listen to me. If you cut your workouts down to 4 workouts a week, whether you're at home or at the gym, let's say if you do 3 at the gym, 1 at home, you probably save yourself anywhere from about 3 to 4 hours because of drive time, prep time, I prep to get ready and all that. I do all this other stuff. You may save yourself 3 to 4 hours because I believe you with your habit share stuff and your eating stuff has been good, so you're becoming very skillful at that. If you're exercising, put it like this. What I'm trying to say is I don't think it would harm you, meaning I know because of how you're exercising and how you're eating, you're not going to put on a lot of weight, but you will feel yourself freer in your schedule, because eventually what happens is if I'm a person working out 6 days a week and I find myself not having time in other areas, what happens with most people, I'm not saying it's going to happen with you because I don't speak that over people's lives, but they tend to start looking at the exercise as a stressful thing, and they will sometimes abandon that because it's too overwhelming for them. So let's say if you cut it back to like 4 days a week, I'm working out at the gym 3, I got my small group, I got my 2 days, and be home for a day. You may save yourself 3 to 4 hours a week. And then that can be your me time. And you still got your 4 days in. So you're working out more days than you're resting, and you don't got a jam. Don't let your weekends be stolen by work and all that. Nah, forget that crap. Look, ain't no work that important. Forget that. Tell Wayne to get his butt up. Say, but yeah. So you can. So I don't know. That's just my suggestion for you, because once I cut working out back to 4 days a week, my goodness, it took so. And I've been doing it for so long now, man. I still feel healthy, strong, fit. I'm not beating my body up. I'm getting rest when I need it. I can take care of other things. And so I just feel great. I feel great. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a suggestion. I'm not saying you have to do it, but that's just food for thought, you know?
Okay. I know sometimes it's hard for me to mentally think that though, because I'm so used to trying to work out as much as I can. And it's like, I'm doing well with this whole transformation thing that
Doing great.
I don't want to, screw it up and, get fat.
So if your coach is telling you 4 days a week will not make you fat, you better listen. Trust me, because you work out hard. Like it's not like you be in there just like, because some people, boy, they used to come to the gym just to talk. I'm like, really? All right. So y'all came out to the class, to afterburn class, just so y'all can talk? I ain't gonna say no names, boy, but I used to be like, thank God I don't see them no more. We do not mind you all staying home, so. But yeah. Hey, Mama, do you got something?
Hey,
One more?
I just wanted to say that I've been listening to what you've been saying, but what I've done is and I've told you many times, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm stressing out. It's because of my schedule. Teaching plus doing this master's is stressful. But what I've done is I've decided, and I think we spoke about this, I decided, as far as to help me with my stress, is to make sure I get ample enough sleep.
Yeah.
Because that's where my biggest problem was. Wasn't getting enough sleep. My sleep pattern was crazy. And I found myself being very, very tired and worn out. But of course, I would never show that to the students, but I could feel it. And so my thing was, I decided to take more me time, which was very hard for me to take more me time. And the person just said before, I only have children here, and I still was like always going. So I had to really like step back and see what could I, put on another day, or what could I don't do, period.
Yes.
And once I got that in my head, I started finding a little bit more time for me.
There you go.
And my me time is, okay, I'm just going to lay down.
Yes.
Seriously, I'm going to just stop and be still.
Right.
And and if you guys just don't know me, my son knows me. That's very hard for me. And once I started really,
that's why I don't sleep that good.
Seriously, that's an inheritance. Once I started putting that in my life, knowing that I need a little bit more me time, I need more time to sleep so I can feel better and have more stamina and have that strength, that I need to get through my day, and to put things in more perspective, I started feeling so much better. Plus, my transformation groups are helping too. But yeah, I had to really stop and be still. And that was just something I just had to do, because I felt that I was, if not, I'm not going to say I was going to do a nervous breakdown, but I most definitely would have worn myself out way before now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Good. So sound like all of you all ladies had made some type of change along the way, and we still can change even more. And then just executing whatever change you decide, execute that consistently. I know I've been to the trap before where I say, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna I'm gonna sleep from this time to this time, and I can get up. Then I may go a day where I get up an hour earlier just so I can get some work done. And it turns into 2 hours. Then I just get completely off and I go right back into the same rut. So we have to execute whatever changes we've made. That last one, man, an idea without execution or a thought without execution is just a good idea. And that's where it stays. It stays in the good idea realm. It never produces the fruit that you want it to, because you don't consistency produces the fruits, not perfection. You don't have to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? So Kim Parrish, you don't have to perfectly work out 6 days a week. That's not something you got to do to produce, your results and your goals, because it's your awesome nutrition habits and your consistency of just being a mindful human being now. Who knows? Because look, stress, smoking, and lack of sleep are the 3 top ways that women keep on, like, let's say, belly fat or just fat in general, because their bodies, when they go like stress, because those 3 areas bring stress upon you, and then the cortisol is released, and then look, if I need more rest, if I need more me time, so I won't develop bad habits like smoking and different things like that, or whatever the case, that's what I need. And maybe if I get less stress in my life, I may see a few pounds go down too. You know what I'm saying? Because I just got rid of stress, not because I added an extra cardio day, or I did more, or I ate like 10 or I ate like 1,000 calories today. No, not because of that. Maybe if I get the stress out, because the stress, like I said, it produces that fat. It produces extra fat in your body, because fat is your body's number 2 source of energy. So in a fight, flight, response type of thing, fat is released, and that's what stress does. It brings that, and if we don't work it out or work it off, it just sits there and accumulates. So eliminating stress in our life could cause us to lose weight as well. All right. But thanks all you all for listening. That was amazing. Great stuff. Good talks. That was powerful. Thank you all. I appreciate it. But I'm be gone here. Text or call me anytime. And Kim, I'm gonna remember to try to book you for that 3:30 on Friday. But yeah, you're good to go, because I think it's just like one other person in there right now. So you're cool.
Okay. Sounds great.
Right. All right, y'all. Bye-bye. Y'all have a
See
good
y'all.
night. See you
Bye.
later.
Good
Bye,
night.
Mama.
Have a good night, everybody. Good
Bye,
night.
son. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Night, John boy.